of the alien kind. We are destroying the Avatar project, so I'm trying to get the counter to the minimum potential number of red dots. And this is going to be our attempt to destroy yet another red dot. Yet another red dot. Good. As you are probably well aware, this is a non-timed mission. We know that's 15 enemies on the map. We know it's sectopods and codices and a couple of advent soldiers. So yeah, let's move. I'm trying to carefully advance here.
Heading to that location.
For now, let us move. I need to discipline myself here a little bit better. Like, there's really no need to move super fast. We can just move here, and that's about it. Pulling something would just mean we need a mimic beacon. How do I know that there are 15 enemies? It's pretty simple. Once you build the shadow chamber, on the overall map, it displays the number of enemies that are on the mission, and it displays exactly the composition of the enemy team. Sectopods and codices as mechanical units, and a couple of advent forces as normal units. Shield bearers, stun lancers, and the usual shit. That's how I know it. The game basically told me. And yeah, the shadow chamber is quite awesome. So if you do have the time to build it in the later stages of the game, I would highly recommend using it. It's a really nice feature to get a custom composition and to make sure that you are well equipped. To be quite honest though, our composition that we are using, that's something that you could use on many, if not all of the missions. Against biological units, I'm preferring to have 1 or 2 gas grenades. We do have that, so that covers literally a lot of units. Most of the advents, the avatars, even berserkers, chrysalids. Yeah, chrysalids not really because they are immune against the poison, but yeah, a lot of biological units. And when you see that there are mechanical units on the way, really the simple most path is to go for blue screen rounds, because yeah, guess what? Blue screen rounds completely annihilate them. And now you only have a couple of units which are not falling into this category, and luckily for us, for instance, Gatekeeper fall into the category of being vulnerable to blue screen rounds as well. So the game literally serves you with a recipe of how to build a so-called balanced squad, where your soldiers do have the option to fight against most, if not all of the enemies. And this is really how I feel that the shadow chamber itself is nice to have. It's a nice gimmick. It's good. But I guess the point that I'm trying to make is it's really not absolutely required to have the shadow chamber. This composition here could basically take on any enemy composition without being better or worse. And I haven't seen really missions where there are only mechanical units or where there are only biological units in the late game. Usually the game kind of tries to mix them up quite intensively. So it's really usually a mixture of both of the unit types. And since the methods that I just outlined are so super effective against them, Hey, JHP Answire, welcome to the chat. Your soldier is still alive. He's still the prime hacker of the campaign, although the second specialist has just received in the last mission plus 20 hacking as well, another plus 20 hacking. So I think the two of you now tie at 175. Ultimately high, silly high numbers, where you can hack everything up to a sectopod.
Moving on target location. Enemy sighted.
Good, look at that, enemy sighted. So what I was about to elaborate on, since the game already gives you some very strong counters, e.g. the gas grenade and the blue screen rounds, I feel that it is not 100% needed to use others. Specifically some of the other counters, like incendiary grenades or incendiary ammunition, which is called Dragon Storm, Dragon something armor. It's really not adding that much value. It's just specifically the only enemy that I could think about which is really affected by it, and which wouldn't fall under any of the other categories would be the chrysalid. And yeah, let's not disrespect the chrysalid too much, but it's by far not the most fearsome unit. We will have a mission with a lot of chrysalids. That's going to be the storyline mission that we're going to approach soon, so I'm not going to disrespect it too much, because I don't want to look silly afterwards when they kick my ass. But yeah, overall, like, the chrysalids, not really super scary. But I can tell you guys, there is something which is super scary. It's called Kill Zone, and we are going to use it. The tree was a little bit in our way, so we just moved to the side. Kill zone here. I don't know, I do not really feel like wasting too many grenades, but on the other hand side, this here is a quad pack, and hitting them with a grenade would basically deal a very high amount of damage. So I think you can't regret like using grenades here. Barack Obama on his way to grenade. Bam! Such a lovely grenade. One down.
X-ray neutralized.
Two down. 3 down, 4 down. He just raped them.
X-ray neutralized.
Yeah, enemies neutralized. Good job. Have I mentioned that Kill Zone is somehow an OP ability? If I haven't, it is an OP ability. There is, by the way, the next pack.
I'm on it.
So Velius is going to move up just in case we are setting a nice Overwatch trap here. And I can already almost hear the sectopod. He's patrolling. Ba-bam, ba-bam. Good. So we are reloading because we will use the kill zone soon again. Let's just wait 3 more rounds because I feel kill zone approaches pretty much are interesting. Since they are moving now, we'll trigger them anyways. Alright, 1 down. And that's the sectopod. This is not the same facility, so question from the chat, is this the same facility where I pulled 3 packs and that many mutants? No, they just look pretty similar, I guess. The alien facilities kind of look similar, but that's a different facility, mate. That indeed is a different facility. We know that there is no gatekeeper on this map, so I feel pretty safe using the acid bomb here to get rid of the armor of this sector pod. Yeah, what are you going to do now, sector pod? No armor left? That's looking pretty dull for you. Let's get the last point of armor. Yeah, he's completely shredded. And look at that. This is just the damage of one guy. This is just the damage of one guy. Our gunslinger is taking a little bit better position here. Lightning hands. One shot. 8 points of damage. Like it. Normal shot. Another 11 points of damage. Wow, you gotta love it. And face off, just because we can. And guess who's down? A sector pod.
Moving to position.
Okay, time to randomly trigger yet another turret, but luckily for us we do have a sniper still ready. Yep.
Hit the armor.
We could go for a Haywire protocol hack, but that's stretching it really far. I don't know. I don't know, man. We might play it the safe way, because that's the we could play it the very safe way, but we still have another XCOM agent to move, so I guess the 84% are good enough. The very safe way would have been to just move back with JC Phoenix and just wait, because the tower can't move. Oh really? Yet another pack? Oh, poor guys.
Scanning. Overwatch.
I can tell you these guys are not going to be happy. Wow, how is this even possible?
Taking fire.
How can they take... Ah, I see. This guy was part of the sector pod pack. Aha. Gotcha. But you know what we do with people who are trying to shoot at us? We're usually using gas grenades. That's damn right. Roby is at his best. Poisoning everyone.
Heading to that location.
Still want to keep her hidden, if that is possible.
Your order.
I'll just move up for now. And kill a couple of these guys. For instance, an Elite Lancer.
How about a challenge?
Or another Elite Lancer. Or
Located.
a Captain. Yeah, pretty solid so far. Can't complain. We even got some more. Like, wait a second. This here should even be. Now, that would be a nice turn, like serial killing 2. Then grappling hooking here, and 100%. Look at that, guys. Beautiful play. I'm happy with that. Double serial kill. Afterwards, Batman-style grapple to the other side. Pulling out his sniper. No-scope AWP kill, like in Counter-Strike. And yeah, kind of demolishing and demotivating the enemy.
On Overwatch.
Now, getting to this loot is definitely an issue, but we do have someone who is immune against most of this, against all of this. Just need to make sure that he's not triggering something, and in order to make sure that this is the case, let us continue moving up here
Moving.
and double checking that there's nothing which could spot us out. The answer is there is nothing which could spot us out. So let's move here. He's immune against poison because he's carrying a med pack. And that's the sweet, sweet taste of an advanced stock, superior speed, and a datapad. Great!
Asset secure.
Alright, let's wait a couple of rounds until all of our abilities get back. Kill zone, lightning hands, and so on and so forth.
Clear.
Like I said, we are not in a hurry, and speeding it up too much actually is not a sign of good play. It is a sign of impatience, and in XCOM, impatience is usually not bringing you that far.
Reloaded.
It's getting you into trouble, but that's about it. So everyone's reloaded, 2 more rounds, and we're fine. Also, all of this poisonous gas will hopefully,
Come get some.
yeah, it's finally getting away.
Overwatch.
Good, last round of Overwatch.
Got it covered.
Wonderful. Right, so I think it's time to move up.
Position.
Most of the guys are already
Hope it's worth it.
moved up just a little bit, but we can do that even more. The problem here is we are lacking cover.
I'm on it. Throw in the hook.
That's a little bit the disadvantage of blowing everything up.
On the move. Got it covered. On Overwatch. I'm on it.
Eyes on the prize.
Scanning. On Overwatch.
Possible hostile contact.
I still hear a sectopod, and I think if we talk about 15 overall, let's take a short recap. We killed how many guys? Sectopod plus 4, that's 5. Another pack of 3, that's 8. Another pack of 3, that's 11. The tower is 12. So theoretically there should be yet one more pack of 3 somewhere around the map, probably behind. Yeah, or that's it.
Near the target position.
That's the last pack. Just need to make sure that we are close enough together.
Roger that. I hope it's worth it. I'm on it. I'm on it. Got it covered. Scanning.
Moving to Overwatch.
Come get some.
So the sectopod is usually going to walk. Yeah, there we go.
Adjusting sight.
That's going to be the trigger. Oh, look at that. It's really, maybe I have miscounted, so it's really a pack of 4 overall. But they already start to shredder this the sectopod. Yeah, great. He has 0 armor now. 2 hits and the armor is completely gone. Look at that. But of course you guys know that I'm not going to rest unless everything here is gone.
Fire in the hole!
So this here is going to remove the cover. Yeah. Alright, that's number 1. Wow, this is going to be so great. Our gunslinger is now just dishing out tons of damage. He's single-handedly destroying the sectopod. The lance is being missed, but yeah, it happens. Wow, another crit. Beautiful. Lightning hands again. He dodged it, but that's okay. We just got him close enough to the critical area where we can now kill him. Yeah, down he goes.
Target neutralized.
We haven't used Serial because there is still Roby with his 100% shot. Law mowing this guy away.
Thousands to go.
Running.
And I think we just killed everyone. Superior autoloader, super good. Intel, lots of Valerium cores. Yeah, that was a good loot.
Got it covered. Affirmative. Covering now. Moving to Overwatch. More of them coming in.
Aha, I was wondering, like normally that should be done by now.
On your position.
But there are of course reinforcements. Good, let's get a good position here. Like this one here is not the optimal, but it's okay for sure. Reinforcements, I'd say kill zone, yes please.
Is mine.
Let's move over here
The hook.
for a nice sniper shot.
Overwatch.
We'll go here into cover. We'll not take it. We'll take a. Is he having threat protocol? Threat assessment? No, he doesn't. And then screw it. Let's just get onto Overwatch. Oh, chat just came back. I was disconnected. So the concealed set is like being in stealth, but I don't understand the mechanic because now only one is invis for the enemy. There is a specific ability on this character mate, which is called Phantom. You can see it down here. When the squad is revealed, the soldier remains concealed. And the mechanic of concealment works as long as you are in cover as towards the enemy. Like, for instance, if they are dropping down here, she's in cover here. And as long as she retains in cover, even if they would be in her vision range, they will not see her. But if you take the first aggressive action or run through their vision field, she will be revealed, basically. That's how concealment works. And that's the reason why you want to have one of your units with the Phantom ability.
Scanning. They're moving to flank me. Hostiles
Falk, thank you so much for the kind words. I wouldn't say that anyone is a noob who's playing on Legendary Ironman. I do have too much respect for others to say that. But certainly it is fair to say that we do have differences in our playstyle. Let's put it this way. I leave everyone his own judgment as of what's the more appropriate playstyle. I wouldn't even say better, like just more appropriate, because you guys need to know for yourself what you would want to do in a situation. And I'm always trying to explain my reasons. And if you, for instance, feel like in some of the cases I should have done something different, by all means, feel free to just write it into the chat. Like, that's more than okay. By the way, you know what's also more than okay? Killing off mechs. That's pretty much more than okay.
There you go.
Yeah, heavy mechs at that point in the game with blue screen rounds, they are cannon fodder. Yep.
Neutralized. Menace 1-5. We're not picking up any additional contacts near the AO. Proceed to plant the X4 charges and move to evac.
I'm trying to, Falcon, thanks for the feedback. I'm trying to play very concentrated when I play. That's also the reason why you guys do not hear any like music in the background, or whenever like shit hits the fan and when aliens are overwhelming us, I'll take the necessary time to explain and think it through. That doesn't automatically mean all of the decisions are right. But it gives you a pretty high certainty that you're not taking random decisions. And also, it is very similar to poker or any other RNG-based activity. You can take the right decision, but you can still lose in the end. The question is, some situations just are super difficult, and sometimes they do not. You just have the decision between two suboptimal options. And if a situation basically for an average player would mean that he's only successful in 5% of the time, and I'm trying to do my damn best that I can be successful in more percent of the time, and even if it's only 10% of the time, my chances of succeeding are still higher. So good moves or strategic moves will just improve your chances. It doesn't necessarily mean you will automatically win. Good. So that was yet another flawless mission. I really like how this campaign is going on. And while I have you gentlemen here in the chat, I want to ask a question, a feedback question that I'm going to ask probably also 2 or 3 more times this weekend. I'm intensively thinking about the next season. And there are 2 scenarios in my head. Maybe first of all an update, and then we talk about season 4. First update, I planned after this, after finishing this campaign, to do a legendary troll run. And by the legendary troll run, kind of Roby came up with the idea, and I liked it. You guys are, I think I even included a comment for that. It is !next. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. The next session will be is not determined, but we want to do the legendary troll run. Dedicated viewers take ownership of current characters in the campaign, and they can determine the skill and the equipment as well as the choices in GTS. And you guys can troll as hard as you like. I'm going on to a mission with 12 smoke grenades and with characters that look like shit. So if you want to have pink outfits and Rastafaris all the way, by all means, go for it. I still On the tactical layer, we'll try my best to not fuck it up, and we try to go as far as we can until the campaign is leading to certain doom in the end, most probably. But this is going to be a fun run if you guys are up for it. So this is the news for what are we going to do when this year is over afterwards. We are going to have some enjoyment together, hopefully. Now, the question that I wanted to raise is, what's your preference on Season 4? And there are basically two ideas that I have come up with. Idea number one is the perfect run. And I was thinking about the perfect run a long time, but I needed to get to know the game a little bit better. And I decided, after asking the question in the 2K forum, like the official game forum, and asking everyone how would you define the perfect run. The perfect run is something is a run where we lose 0 soldiers, get all countries, lose 0 missions, so no mission failures whatsoever. And I'm even considering adding getting all of the missions flawless, which means literally 50 missions in a row where we're not getting hit a single time. I'm not sure about the last one because this is like really tough, but I'm thinking about all of the others. They are achievable for me. The last one definitely would be kick-ass. So this is like option number one, the perfect run, which is kind of an homage, a nice heritage for our perfect run in XCOM 1. Second option is I'm afraid I can't even call it legendary +++ difficulty because it's probably going to be insane difficulty. There are two more enemy mods out there, like Grenadier Muton, which is super hardcore. Like this guy is using poisonous grenades and is using acid grenades, all of the shit. So this unit and an elite Viper, which should be feasible until the very late game, like two very tough units. I would add them, and here the surprising fact, there is a mod which is called double enemy squad size. It does basically what it says. It doubles the enemy squad size. So it would be even more enemies. I do now have a pretty concrete idea of how we can play with many enemies. I'm not sure if this is possible, but it certainly would be like a real legendary thing. So that's kind of the option number two that I came up with, like increasing the strengths a little bit more and having like this super hardcore-ish mode where we can try a little bit. And now feel free to discuss it in the chat. I'd like to see your viewpoint on it. Really, both is possible. And question from the chat, do I think Army of 4 is possible in Legendary Ironman? It certainly is possible. It's easier than that, because 4 guys against normal squads, that's easier than what we are currently doing. So that could be an option as well, Legendary Ironman Army of 4.
Your team did a commendable job.
Good, so the two options in a nutshell again. Option number one, the perfect run, very hard achievement, and option number two is pretty straightforward, insane difficulty, lots and lots of enemies, plus even harder enemies. Like, these are the two options. Army of 1, I think that's not possible, man. Army of 1 maybe with a Psy character, but I can't play that from the beginning. Or with one of the custom classes. There are some really sick custom classes. I've seen a Necromancer. Like, someone is playing too much Diablo if he's coming up with a Necromancer. He had some weird-ass abilities. For instance, he starts with an ability which is called Bone Shield, like gives you 4 armor, and I was like, what the fuck? You can give someone 4 armor? That means in the early game you're basically invulnerable, you're just stomping. And then he has some sick reanimation and so on and so forth. So if I use such an OP character class, maybe an Army of 1 is possible. And the question is really, Psy operatives are that powerful in XCOM 2? Bro, if I'm taking one of the Psy operatives out of training now, and you'll see them on the last mission, they do have reincarnation, which gives them an automatic ability to avoid death, so no sweating there. They do have auto hit abilities, a lot of auto hit abilities. They do have 2 AoEs, which are just on recharge, so you just need to wait a little bit and then you can just AoE again. They deal a shit ton of damage. They can make themselves immune. They can CC others. They can run pretty far. They have an ability to be immune against fire, poison, acid, whatsoever. They are immune against all mind-affecting abilities, and on top they can mind control, which is pretty much the strongest ability. So I would say it's a very fair assessment if one would say they are a little bit borderline OP. Oh, I forgot about, they still have a couple of other nice abilities, e.g. exploding grenades as a standard action, or just literally raping enemies by casting insanity on them. Yeah, oh, well, Chet just mentioned Hot Seat campaign. As soon as the multiplayer co-op mod is released, they are currently working on it. I'm definitely thinking about going for the multiplayer co-op as well. So that might be interesting. That might be interesting. Good, guys. So feel free to add. I just saw a vote for insane difficulty. And I'm even thinking about going on to insane difficulty without mimic beacons, because there are certain players here on Twitch who consider mimic beacons to be OP. And although I don't disagree with their arguing, I guess I need to prove a point.
Priority message coming through, Commander. Putting it on screen now. You have made considerable progress.
Look at that, 1,400. We are rich.
Ongoing efforts will only lead to further success.
Let's go for a shopping tour real quick. Take a look what's up here. Yeah, we can buy superior repeater, superior scope, which is even better. Yes, please. Superior speed is not bad. I like it. And yeah, I'm pretty relaxed now with the intel because we found another source of intel, the Advent data pads, and we can just research them.
Welcome, Commander.
Yeah, and you see that the game is no longer willing to give us any more soldiers. It realizes our contingent is just too full. It's just offering us scientists and engineers. That's about it. No more soldiers for you, Saiken. No more soldiers. Good, so what are we going to do? We still need to wait for this training to complete. I guess we're just getting the heavy weapons, and then if you guys are up for it, let's take the Codex Brain Coordinates, because yeah, why not? It's just going to progress the storyline a little bit, and I know that you guys want to see the storyline. One plasma blaster. Thank you. I've never scanned for a supply rate, so I don't even know if this one here is enabling the supply rate mission. So, Shadow Chamber, 30 enemies. The enemy unknown, by the way, is the avatar. So we will meet one here. Chrysalid, Elite Shield Bearer, Elite Lancer, Heavy Mech, and Codex. So the Heavy Mech and the Codex require us to use blue screen rounds. Chrysalis, Shield Bearer, Elite Lancer, etc. All biological units. And if it says 30, the game really means probably 40 units, because I don't know if that accounts for reinforcements. Good. JC Phoenix just got his major title. I like it. He's on his way to Colonel as well. Blackjack, the sharpshooter, who maybe will become Colonel soon. And yeah, I think we can now pretty much put our remaining team into this, which is Roby and Duchess and Defcon. No, not Defcon. I think we had another Grenadier. Yeah, Barack Obama. Here we go. Barack, how could I forget about you? A lot of biological units, and I don't know if there's so much cover this time. 30 units. I'm thinking about going for yet another gas grenade instead of the acid grenade. Let me think that through. We have no shield, we have only shield bearers, but we don't really need acid grenades for them. We had no sectopods, no gatekeepers, so let us maybe consider going for the other gas. I don't know. It's not that important, guys. It's not that important. Let's just go. By the way, we haven't used the mimic beacons in ages. We might even consider not to take them along anymore in the future. I don't know. They fall off quite significantly in the end game. No longer really useful. So here we go.
Sky Ranger deployed.
Squad green to deploy.